The room laughed as Evan Marshall stood in his faded jacket, but their sneers hid a truth that would shatter their greed. The Randall estate towered over Maple Creek's autumn hills, its stone facade and iron gates, a monument to wealth. Inside the grand hall, oak panels gleamed under crystal chandeliers, their April light dancing across marble floors. The air held the scent of polished leather roses and brewing tea, a silver tray of scones and clotted cream untouched on a mahogany table. 42 heirs, investors, and advisors mingled their tailored suits and silk dresses, flashing with cufflinks and pearls. Champagne flutes clinked their condolences as rehearsed as their smirks. Evan Marshall slipped in quietly, his worn loafers silent, choosing a corner by a tall window framing misty hills, his gray linen shirt slightly creased, tucked into faded slacks, his olive cardigan fraying at the cuffs, his canvas satchel, hand-stitched, hung from his shoulder. At 36, his fair skin was unshaven, his high cheekbones and hazel eyes, striking his dark hair tousled with a few loose strands. His expression was calm, gazing at the empty lawyer's chair, ignoring the room's disdain. Tristan Randall. A second cousin leaned against the table, his gold tie glinting, his ruddy skin flushed with arrogance. At 38, his broad frame strained his suit, his square face smirking, brown eyes mocking. "Is that the groundskeeper?" he called, drawing chuckles. His sister, Lydia Randall, in a sapphire dress, her tan skin glowing, her sharp features curled in scorn, added, "Probably here to polish the will." At 35, her statuesque frame swayed her auburn hair, cascading her green eyes, scanning Evan with pity, looking to her cousins for approval. The crowd's laughter cut deep, but Evan stood still, his fingers tightening on his satchel, his silence a shield. Nora Randall, a niece with a startup, her brown skin radiant, her slim frame clad in a tailored blazer, nudged her friend. At 25, her oval face smirked, her dark eyes gleaming as she snapped Evan's photo. "Charity case crashing the will," she whispered, typing "hobo. CEO thinks he's getting billions." Her gaze flicked to Evan, daring a reaction. The hall buzzed with cruelty. "Kitchen's that way." A cousin jeered, pointing to a side door. An investor's wife, draped in sapphires, muttered, "No class." Evan's cardigan became a target, Nora's post going viral with comments calling him a nobody. He saw the glowing screen, but didn't flinch, his hazel eyes catching the security camera's red light, its feed a secret only he and one other knew. Tristan slipped behind him, his gold tie brushing Evan's satchel as he tucked a napkin scrawled with "charity case" into its strap. Snickers spread, phones flashed, and Nora's laughter rang out. "He's a meme now," she crowed, her blazer creasing her dark eyes, mocking Evan. Unaware of the napkin, kept his focus on the lawyer's table, his posture steady, his expression serene despite the venom. Leonard Pierce, the lawyer, entered at 10 a.m., his gray suit crisp, his briefcase heavy, his weathered face, framed by silver hair, scanned the crowd, pausing on Evan, unsettling Tristan, who frowned. "What's that about?" he whispered to Lydia, whose sapphire dress swished as she shrugged, her green eyes narrowing. Leonard set down his briefcase, pulling a sealed envelope, his voice steady. "We're here to read Claire Randall's last will, executed 3 years ago." Murmurs rippled. Claire had vanished 6 months ago, her yacht lost off the Pacific. Most assumed she was dead, their greed fueling private jets to Maple Creek. Tristan adjusted his tie, smirking, "Let's see who gets the empire." Nora tapped her phone, ready to post her victory, her dark eyes gleaming. The crowd's whispers grew their tailored outfits, a uniform of ambition. Victor Lang, an investor in a pinstriped suit, his pale skin stern, his long face set, barked, "This man's a fraud." At 50, his tall frame loomed, his blue eyes accusing, pointing at Evan, his gaze fixed with indignation. His wife, Margaret Voss, her dark skin adorned with sapphires, her plump frame in a velvet gown, nodded. At 60, her round face sneered, her brown eyes raking Evan's cardigan, her stare cold. "He's embarrassing, Claire's memory," she hissed. Looking to the crowd for agreement, Lydia approached Evan. Her sapphire dress gleaming, her green eyes sharp, her tan skin flushed. "You're in the wrong place," she said, flicking his cardigan, her nails grazing it with disdain, her gaze challenging. Evan's hands stayed steady, his hazel eyes flicking to the camera, its red light blinking. Tristan's prank fueled the glee, the napkin's bold letters, a brand on Evan's back. Nora's phone buzzed with likes, her dark eyes triumphant, her blazer tight as she leaned forward. "He doesn't even know he's a joke," she whispered, her oval face alight. The scones sat untouched, their warmth fading a silent witness to the room's cruelty. Leonard cleared his throat, breaking the wax seal, the crack loud in the hush. "Claire, Randall, declare this, my final will. To my family and associates, I leave nothing but this truth. Wealth reveals character, not worth." The room froze, Tristan's smirk fading, Nora's phone slipping, Lydia's hand clutching her dress. "Nothing." Victor barked, his blue eyes wide. Leonard continued, "All assets, shares, properties, accounts, and a tech firm worth $90 billion are bequeathed to one person, my husband." "Evan." A gasp tore through the crowd, heads whipping around. "Husband." Tristan scoffed, his ruddy face paling, his brown eyes stunned, staring at Evan. Lydia's green eyes widened, her sapphire dress stark, her gaze frozen. Nora mouthed, "What?" Her blazer, sagging, her dark eyes locked on Evan, who stood still. His hazel eyes calm, his cardigan a quiet defiance against their shock. The camera's red light blinked, hinting at a deeper truth, one that would unravel in moments. As the air's outrage boiled, Evan's silence held a secret Claire's will was no accident, and the camera's feed might reveal a twist even he didn't expect. What was coming next? Have you ever seen kindness triumph over cruelty? Drop a like to spread the love, and stay with kindness in real life for more heartwarming stories. The hall erupted as Evan Marshall, the mocked stranger, was named heir to billions, but the real shock was still to come. The Randall Estate's grand hall pulsed with chaos, its oak panels absorbing the gasps that followed Leonard Pierce's revelation. Evan Marshall. The man in the frayed cardigan was Claire Randall's husband, inheriting her $90 billion tech empire. The chandeliers cast jagged light across the marble floor where Nora Randall's cracked phone lay its viral post, now a digital albatross. The silver tray of scones, cold and crumbling, mirrored the heir's shattered bravado. Evan stood by Leonard, his gray linen shirt tucked into faded slacks, his fair skin calm under scrutiny, his dark hair tousled, framed his high cheekbones, his hazel eyes sweeping the crowd steady despite their fury. His canvas satchel rested at his feet, the charity case napkin still tucked in, unnoticed but stinging to the guilty. His expression was serene, gazing at Leonard's folder, unshaken by the uproar. Tristan Randall, his ruddy skin mottled with rage, slammed a fist on the table, his gold tie askew, his broad frame loomed, his square face, twisted brown eyes blazing. "This is a scam," he shouted, his suit creasing, pointing at Evan, his gaze venomous. Lydia Randall, her tan skin paling, stood her sapphire dress, clinging her sharp features, rigid green eyes flashing contempt. "He's a fraud," she hissed, her auburn hair falling over one shoulder, staring at Evan with disdain. Nora, her brown skin flushed, clutched her tailored blazer, her slim frame trembling, her oval face aghast. Dark eyes darting between Evan and her phone, where notifications piled up, her followers turning on her. "Show him," she demanded, her voice shrill. Looking at Leonard for proof, her gaze desperate. Leonard opened his briefcase, his weathered face composed, silver hair glinting. "The will is legal, signed 7 years ago," he said, pulling a photograph. Claire, radiant, her arm around Evan in a simple suit outside a courthouse dated 7 years prior. Murmurs erupted. Tristan's laugh forced his brown eyes narrowing. "A photo." "That's nothing." Lydia's nails dug into her palm, her green eyes burning, her sapphire dress stark. "Forged." Nora's blazer sagged, her dark eyes suspicious, whispering, "He's nobody." Leonard produced more, a marriage license signed by witnesses, a nurse, Sarah Ellis, and a librarian, Michael Reed. Handwritten letters from Claire to Evan, forensically verified. Private joint bank accounts. He inserted a USB drive into a laptop, and a screen flickered, showing grainy footage, Claire and Evan laughing, kissing on courthouse steps. Sarah and Michael clapping. The date matched. The crowd's defiance crumbled faces, paling eyes, locking on Evan, who watched the footage, his hazel eyes softening, a quiet ache visible. Lydia stepped forward, her sapphire dress swishing, her voice trembling with rage. "You planned this, didn't you, making us look bad?" Her green eyes burned, her tan skin flushed, glaring at Evan, who stood unmoved. His linen shirt a soft contrast to her aggression. Evan's voice was clear, low, like a steady stream. This was a test, not a trap. To see if you'd ask who I was before mocking me, to see if you'd honor Claire's memory or claw for her wealth. His hazel eyes pinned Lydia, who flinched, her gaze dropping to the marble floor. Tristan barked, "Test. This is a circus." His brown eyes darted his gold tie, a garish weight, his ruddy face sweating. Nora's phone buzzed her viral post, deleted by sponsors. Her dark eyes wide with panic, her blazer creasing as she sank into a chair, her slim frame deflated. The hall's rose-scented air grew heavy. The scones untouched, their clotted cream congealing. Victor Lang, his pale skin stern, his tall frame in a pinstripe suit, stood, his long face set, blue eyes accusing. This man's a con. He roared, pointing at Evan, his gaze indignant. Margaret Voss, her dark skin adorned with sapphires, her plump frame in a velvet gown knotted her round face, sneering brown eyes, cold staring at Evan's satchel. "He's got a fake ID in that rag," she hissed, her gaze sharp. The crowd's murmurs swelled their tailored outfits, a uniform of greed, their phones still buzzing with Nora's fading post. Evan's fingers brushed his satchel, his fair skin unflushed, his expression steady, his hazel eyes flicking to the security camera, its red light blinking like a heartbeat. Evan reached into his satchel, pulling a small remote, his fingers steady. "Claire isn't dead," he said, each word a thunderclap. "She's alive, watching you." He pressed the button and a monitor lit up, revealing Claire Randall, her pale skin glowing, her blonde hair swept back, her blue eyes piercing. In a simple blouse, no jewelry. She sat in a dim room, the timestamp ticking. April 15th, 2025, 10:32 a.m. The room exploded, gasps, shouts, chairs scraping. Tristan stumbled, his ruddy face drained his gold tie, choking his brown eyes wide. Lydia's hand flew to her mouth, her green eyes stunned her. Sapphire dress stark against her tan skin. Nora dropped her phone again, her brown skin ashen, her dark eyes frozen on the screen, her blazer slipping off one shoulder. Claire's voice boomed, low, resonant. "You thought I was gone, ready to carve up my life. I've been watching every sneer, every lie." Claire leaned forward, her blue eyes unyielding. "Evan warned me you'd show your true colors." He was right. Evan's lips twitched, not quite a smile, his hazel eyes meeting the camera, his linen shirt brushing his arm. The doors swung open and Claire entered, real solid, her presence a storm. Her blouse was crisp, her slacks tailored her blonde hair, catching the chandelier light. The crowd parted their whispers, dying. She stopped beside Evan, her hand brushing his, her pale skin, warming at his fair touch, her expression softening. She faced the room, her voice cutting Evan. "Designed this, the will, the cameras. He wanted to see who'd respect a stranger, who'd care about me, not my money. You failed." Her blue eyes locked on Tristan, who shrank his gold tie, a noose, his brown eyes darting for escape. A guard appeared, guiding Tristan out, his protests fading, his ruddy face sweating. Lydia's green eyes welled, her sapphire dress trailing as she followed, her tan skin flushed with shame. Nora's blazer hung loose, her dark eyes misty as she was escorted away. Her phone left behind, its screen cracked. The scones forgotten crumbled on the tray, but outside, a picnic awaited sandwiches, lemonade, and maple cookies, prepared by loyal staff, spread across the estate's gardens, under Maple Creek's autumn sun. Evan and Claire stood together, their hands linked, the camera's red light fading their test complete. The air's greed had unraveled, but the truth was only beginning to bloom. As Claire's presence stunned the hall, Evan's silence promised more, a final reckoning and a celebration of those who saw beyond wealth. What would the next moment reveal? Subscribe and hit the bell to join Kindness in Real Life for more stories of hope. Claire Randall's voice silenced the hall, but Evan Marshall's steady gaze promised a justice that would reshape their world. The Randall Estate's grand hall stood quiet, its oak panels soaking up the echo of departed heels. The chandeliers cast soft light on the marble floor, strewn with a cracked phone and a single sapphire from Margaret Voss's gown. The silver tray of scones was gone, replaced by a weight of truth. The rose-scented air, now light with resolution. Evan Marshall stood beside Claire. Randall, his fair skin glowing, his dark hair tousled, framing high cheekbones, his hazel eyes calm yet resolute, met Claire's, his navy sweater and slacks, a quiet shift from his earlier linen shirt, His slender frame held steady, his canvas satchel by his feet, its charity case napkin discarded. His expression was serene, gazing at the three who remained a chosen family forged by kindness. Claire, her pale skin radiant, her blonde hair swept back her blue eyes, fierce lean in a crisp blouse and tailored slacks. Her expression was unwavering, looking at the crowd's empty chairs with a mix of triumph and sorrow. Only three stayed: Sarah Ellis, the nurse from their wedding, her brown skin warm, her petite frame in a soft cardigan, her round face gentle, dark eyes misty with relief, gazing at Evan with recognition. Michael Reed, the librarian, his tan skin weathered his lanky frame in a tweed vest, his angular face, calm gray eyes, steady. Looking at Claire with respect, Anna Moore, a groundskeeper, her dark skin glowing her sturdy frame in a plaid shirt, her square face beaming brown eyes, warm, glancing at the trio with pride. The greedy Tristan Randall. Lydia Randall. Nora Randall were gone, escorted out their cruelty exposed by Evan's test. The monitor was dark, the cameras off their work done. Claire's hand found Evan's, her pale fingers intertwining with his fair ones, their bond, a quiet anchor, their shared glance, a vow. Claire faced the trio, her voice soft but firm. You saw Evan, not his clothes or status. That's family. Sarah nodded, her cardigan shifting, her dark eyes welling as she looked at Claire. Michael adjusted his vest, his gray eyes steady, gazing at Evan. Anna grinned, her plaid shirt creased, her brown eyes twinkling, looking at the group. Evan spoke, his voice low, resonant. I didn't want to be right about them. I wanted them to be better. His hazel eyes lingered on the scattered sapphire, then warmed for the three. Thank you for seeing me. Claire squeezed his hand, her blue eyes tender. You're more than they'll ever know, she whispered, her blouse brushing his sweater, their connection a beacon in the hall. The confrontation began as Leonard Pierce, his weathered face composed, silver hair glinting, pulled a new document from his briefcase, an addendum to the will. Effective immediately, he announced his gray suit, crisp. Those who insulted Evan, named in security footage, are disinherited. No shares, no properties, no contact. He read the names: Tristan Randall, Lydia Randall, Nora Randall, Victor Lang, Margaret Voss. Each name landed like a gavel, the absent heirs' faces flashing in memory. Tristan's ruddy skin, his gold tie a noose. Lydia's tan complexion, her sapphire dress trailing. Nora's brown skin, her blazer sagging as her social media empire collapsed. Leonard tapped his laptop, and Nora's phone, left behind, buzzed with finality, her accounts deleted, sponsors gone, her digital throne. Ash. Evan's hazel eyes flicked to the screen, his expression steady while Claire's blue eyes burned, her gaze fixed on the empty chairs. The hall's silence was broken by a distant shout. Tristan outside, his voice muffled but defiant, his brown eyes likely blazing. Lydia's sobs echoed faintly, her green eyes surely wet. Her tan skin flushed with shame. Evan stood unmoved, his fair skin unflushed his frame, a quiet pillar beside Claire's resolve. The trio. Sarah, Michael, Anna remained their presence, a contrast to the banished. Sarah's dark eyes softened her cardigan cozy as she whispered, they earned this. Michael's gray eyes nodded, his tweed vest neat, his gaze on Leonard. Anna's brown eyes sparkled, her plaid shirt rolled up her sturdy frame, relaxed, looking at Evan with pride. The justice was swift. The greedy cut off their pearls and cufflinks, meaningless against truth. Outside Maple Creek's hills glowed under a setting April sun, the estate's gardens alive with a community dinner. Loyal staff and neighbors spread checkered blankets offering roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, and pecan pie, the air rich with butter and spice. Evan and Claire joined her blouse, catching a breeze, his sweater soft, their hands still linked. Sarah shared pie with Anna, her cardigan dusted with crumbs, her dark eyes laughing. Michael sketched the scene, his tweed vest folded, his gray eyes focused. The meal, warm and communal, echoed the scones and sandwiches of before, a symbol of connection over greed. Evan's silence, once mocked, now radiated strength, his hazel eyes reflecting the sunset, his fair skin flushed with hope. At Maple Creek's diner, the celebration continued, its neon signs buzzing, checkered floors gleaming. The chicken and pie, served on mismatched plates, filled tables where neighbors, staff, and Sarah's book club mingled. Evan, his sweater swapped for a soft flannel, sat beside Claire, her blouse relaxed, their laughter blending with Michael's tales of library chaos. Anna teased Sarah about her pie obsession, her plaid shirt untucked, her brown eyes twinkling. The community's chatter was a chorus of support. the diner's warmth, a testament to Maple Creek's heart. Claire raised a glass of cider, her blue eyes shining, to truth and those who see it. Evan clinked his hazel eyes proud, his fair skin warm in the glow. The dinner wove their chosen family tighter each bite, a rejection of the hall's cruelty. Evan's satchel sat by his chair, a reminder of the test that revealed hearts. Claire leaned close, her voice low. You gave me back my faith. Evan smiled, his fair skin brushing her pale cheek, his hazel eyes soft. You gave me you. The pecan pie's sweetness sealed their victory, a legacy of love, not billions. In Maple Creek's glowing dusk, Evan Marshall and Claire Randall stood unbroken, their hands linked to their fair and pale skin, warmed by the diner's neon glow. The Randall Estate's grand hall, once a stage for sneers, lay quiet, its chandeliers dim, the scattered sapphire and cracked phone relics of greed's defeat. Evan's navy sweater and Claire's crisp blouse mirrored their quiet strength, their hazel and blue eyes reflecting a shared victory. The greedy heirs, Tristan with his gaudy gold tie, Lydia in her sapphire dress, Nora clutching her ruined blazer, were banished, disinherited for mocking Evan. Their cruelty captured by cameras he designed, the kind Sarah's gentle cardigan, Michael's tweed vest, Anna's plaid shirt shone their brown tan and dark skin radiant in the community's embrace. From untouched scones to picnic sandwiches and roasted chicken with pecan pie, each meal wove a tapestry of truth binding a chosen family. Maple Creek's diner buzzed its checkered floors alive with laughter, proving wealth pales against kindness. True worth lies in how we see others, not in what we own. Evan and Claire's test revealed hearts showing kindness, outshines greed. Let's cherish those who see beyond appearances, building families, not of blood, but of heart. Share your story of kindness, triumphing over cruelty below, and let's spread hope with kindness in real life. Your voice matters.